It's RantDay today, or Monday, depends on how you see it. Anyway, this day is a day where the resting days end for a lot of people, and it's back to the weekdays of a harsh reality. And what better way to start that day is there than with a passionate RantDay to get that extra little RantDay spirit that you need to pop back into the days of reality. This show is highly opinion-based and made in order to talk about and get focused on things that I believe are heading in the wrong direction, or just simply are wrong. But since this is a special video, I might be a little bit more positive than usual. I will base my opinions on things I've heard, read, or seen throughout my life as a gamer. If the fact is wrong, I apologize in advance. Today's special subject: Bethesda at E3, or sort of Bethesda in general. So Bethesda is attending E3 2015 in Los Angeles, and they are holding their first ever E3 press conference. I'm usually not the biggest fan of E3, and I'm usually not the biggest fan of hyping before I actually have something confirmed or even know something at all. I'm a realist. I draw conclusions from what I see as reality and not from loose speculation. But Bethesda, in my opinion, is one of the only big companies that still has not sold their soul, still delivers 100% on their games, still hold on to their integrity, still delivers games as masterpieces that are instead of masterpieces that could have been. Still understands that if you release a game with complete features and with all the glory and potential it actually has, you always benefit the most from it. Not just on the release date, but for years to come. Bethesda is one of the only companies that I believe deserves to have their product hyped. Because they take their time with their development and they deliver. And this time and age where big companies throw out games every year to compete with each other, we are losing that final edge. That polish that so many games could have had if they were just in development for one more year instead of being thrown out as a piece of half-cooked meat to the masses. And that leaves you with that sour lingering taste in your mouth that says, I so want to love this game, but I can't. I might be a little bit biased just because Bethesda has delivered two of the most recent entries of one of my favorite gaming franchises ever, Fallout. But even if you're not a big fan of the franchise as I am, you have to agree that the last two Fallout titles by Bethesda hold an insane quality level. Fallout is a franchise I grew up with. The first installments by Interplay Entertainment was something I have hundreds of hours of game time dedicated to. Me and my friends explored the game in all the ways possible and educated each other about our feats in the game. I even went into the game files to reconfigure certain parts of Fallout 1 that I have never done in any other game. I guess that sort of tells you about our commitment to it. The two latest entries by Bethesda actually blew my nostalgic hype to space. I don't think there's any other franchise that tickles my inner fanboy as much as Fallout. The 50s sci-fi just feels so alive and interesting that sometimes I have wished for it all to come true and reflect in the real world. I know, it's crazy. I mean, wishing for nuclear war, sort of wishing for the apocalypse. I don't know, but the amazing lore, the landscapes, the crazy factions of Fallout just makes me want to live it all. I have Walt Boy, the poster boy for the series, on my forearm. If that does not mirror my inner Fallout fanboy, I don't know what does. And my inner fanboy just becomes so excited about the reason that Bethesda having their first press conference at E3 might have something to do that they're actually going to release news about future Fallout installments. It was 5 years ago since we saw the last game entry for Fallout by Bethesda, Fallout New Vegas. In that time we have had the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls Online as big titles that Bethesda has worked on and released. And just because there has been a big focus on other franchises the last years, I have come to believe that it would be the best time possible for Bethesda to release the first information about the next Fallout title at E3. I mean, there's so much unexplored stuff for us to just bathe in the Fallout universe, so not releasing information about a new Fallout title would be, I don't know, it feels kind of crazy from my side. And think about all this. Bethesda has never had a press conference at E3. Bethesda has not published anything about Fallout the last few years other than plans and speculations about a Fallout MMO. Which I actually hope they do not focus resources on, by the way. But they need to have a reason for doing this at E3 this year. Launching a new franchise might be it, a new engine might be it, but since they have such a huge fan base for the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, I doubt they would stray from those two paths. Those golden moneymakers that Bethesda has the exclusive rights for. Going for a new franchise is a gamble, and Bethesda have not been known for such feats in the past. Maybe with Fallout, I don't know. And they have actually released standalone titles every now and again, but they do not usually make that big of a fuss about those games. It might be that Bethesda just want to show the big guys that they have what it takes to be up there with them. I don't know. Anyhow, talking about the big guys, on a side note, I think more companies should take after Bethesda. Big game companies today should prioritize the whole concept about having teams release a title about every 5th year instead of annually. Because having them released annually does not bode well for the game itself. At least not as much as it could, in my opinion. When games are released every 5th year, like the team who works on Skyrim and Fallout does, it creates huge events around those games, and even before they are released, it gets really hyped because of that long wait time. And boy, do today's gaming companies love hype. So why not use this more? But having annual releases sort of takes all that away, doesn't it? For example, Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, it does not feel like they have enough time between each title to make the next title feel even slightly fresh and or exciting. I just generally think, another COD game? I guess I'll try it. Then after 1 to 2 weeks my opinion is, nah. I can still do with the last title, or even the title before that one, because when those two were released, at least this all felt even slightly new. I'm always gonna be a spokesperson for quality over quantity, and you might be offended by me flaming on companies such as Activision and Ubisoft, because I do that quite a lot, and maybe you actually love those games, but I just think these companies have the potential of publishing awesomely good games if they just let their franchises breathe a little bit more than they are allowed to do now. But it might actually work itself out financially for Activision and Ubisoft, because they have already so many titles out on the market, so I think they actually make quite a buck on those titles already, so maybe they can take gambles like this. Maybe they can put games out annually and still make a huge profit. I think it's actually that, but it's still I don't see any reason for pushing games out annually instead of every 5th year or so. I know there's all business aspects that I don't understand in this, and I don't really care about. All I care about is getting to love these companies' games as much as they should be loved. And that can't be rushed. And one thing I also love about Bethesda is all the modding support they have for both Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. That had made so that Skyrim and New Vegas is still played widely due to high quality mods being released. There are people still buying these titles because of awesome mods as well. And Bethesda do not have to release another game for another 5 years the next time either. Because these games are so good that people think that they still hold a standard that's even higher than what's being released 4 to 5 years later. At least that's what I've seen. Creating games with longevity makes it all so much more fun. At least that's my opinion. So, Activision, make Call of Duty more esports friendly and focus more on that, and let the esports community love your game for at least 3 to 4 years before you go and release something new. Otherwise the pros need to learn new things every year, even though they might not want to. You might actually lose support because of this. So Ubisoft, wait 2 to 3 more years to figure out even more new mechanics for Assassin's Creed titles, and so that you actually can finish your PC ports in time for your release. So you don't have to get all the shitstorms that you actually get. EA, don't push releases. Don't push releases to compete with other games. If someone wants to buy your title, they will do it even if a Call of Duty game was released 2 to 3 months earlier. Or something around that, I don't know. all of this would probably never reach these big companies, and I hope someone aboard actually makes them focus more on quality over quantity. Someone that is a realist and a game lover, and someone that does not have dollar signs for their eyes. But alright, enough with the sidetracks. Another thing that makes me so excited about Bethesda visiting E3 and the potential of them releasing information about a new Fallout game is that when they released information at E3 2008 about Fallout 3, the game was actually released the same year. That's right. Only about 3 months after E3 2008 Fallout 3 was released. So might we actually see the next Fallout title this year? Maybe? I hope so. We have not seen anything from the team that made Skyrim and New Vegas in a while, so it's not impossible. But even though I want to hope, I don't think I actually want to jump that far on the hype train just yet. In the end, I do consider myself a realist and I don't want to jump to conclusions, but at least we might get some new information. And that just makes me pee my pants a little bit. If I'm gonna be totally honest. Just that little thing, yeah. So is there any game franchise that you love a little bit more than anything else? Is there a game this year that you are just so excited for? Today I will give you, yes, you, a ticket aboard the hype train with the destination of the comment section below. Share all you want to say and we can discuss our hopes for the future of gaming. Also, if you have any ideas for future RantDay episodes, then please share those in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.